Several members of the administrators, faculty, and students at Marymount Manhattan College recently created the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Strategic Plan to promote greater equity and inclusivity amongst the entire student body of the college. This plan targets the needs and concerns of those in minority groups, specifically the international community at Marymount Manhattan College. I spoke to Rebecca Mattis-Pinard, Chiara Mendez, and Paulina Eid about this plan and how it can benefit the international students at the college.
Essentially, its plan develops equitable practices in terms of how we can become a more diverse and inclusive college. Wanted to develop this plan because we've talked a lot about diversity and inclusion, but we haven't really developed concrete steps about how to actually get to the point that we want to be at. So we wanted to have this guide essentially for the college to follow so we could see how we can get to a certain level in the next 5 years. So this is a plan that thinks about the needs for populations that aren't as represented at Marymount, who aren't represented sometimes because of systematic barriers that keep certain students out, who don't receive the same level of support to attend college. So wanting to see how as an institution we can support those members to come to Marymount, to stay at Marymount, and eventually graduate, and for faculty and staff to want to come and work here and stay here as well.
I'm from Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, even though we're like an American territory, is very different from the US. The culture is so different in Puerto Rico. We like to touch each other. We're like very touchy. We hug, we kiss all the time. And here, everyone's like, oh, what's up? Like, hey. So that was like number one. I would like hug or like say hi with a kiss to everyone, and they would like think that I was flirting with them or like something like that. And I was like, no, it's just my culture. At first, it was hard to, especially for my writing courses, it was hard to excel in them, just because before I came to MMC, I had never wrote an essay in English. I had wrote essays in Spanish all the time for my school, and I had done like small projects in English for my English classes, but not like full 5, 10, 4-page essay. So that was one of the hardest things that I had to do here in MMC for sure.
Like visa limitation, first of all, the working part, because the only like work you can have by being an international student is here at campus. But because there are many of us who are trying to get jobs like here at school, like the jobs get like filled up very quickly, so you're like left with nothing, and like some of the jobs are just not so good, but you don't have like another option, so you just have to take them, or else you won't have any job. And then also, because you're an international student, after graduating you have your OPT, and you like have to apply to several jobs, and you have to ask them to get a work visa afterwards, and that's just difficult because sometimes like companies will prefer to give an American like the job instead of you, so that they don't have to take like their time to fill out your work visa and everything. So yeah, it's harder.
The fact that many students rely on on-campus employment as a way to make money. And that's something I hadn't really given much consideration to, in terms of knowing that for them it's hard to find a job opportunity outside because of limitations with their citizenship status. So a lot of them do rely on the what's it called? The student helpline on campus as opposed to work study positions. The thing that we do still here is that there is a level of comfort that isn't fully here, in terms of just everyday experiences with members of the college community, whether it's faculty, staff, or students. So those are some things that we want to improve, where students don't have to feel like they're constantly aware of their identity, because somebody's constantly making them aware, right, in terms of the idea of being different. So we want to make sure that we can further education along those lines. And for those populations that we aren't enrolling at a high enough rate, we want to make sure we're enrolling more students. But we also think about the faculty that we're bringing in that are also teaching and advising our students, and making sure that's more diverse as well. It's valid in terms of how can we ensure that a certain number of student helplines are designated for international students, right? Or making staff members know that if you're going to hire students, if you could hire a U.S. citizen under the federal work study line, do that so it could keep the other line open for an international student potentially.
I think that for sure having international staff members will just be cooler and like better for international students, just because they have a person to rely on and to like maybe trust in, and that's like every international student. If you have someone from your country in the space where you are constantly studying and living and having fun, you will go to that person for anything. Like that would make our students much more comfortable to talk with staff members.
So yeah, I think it's a good thing that they're doing that, so that international students and Americans are like treated the same at school.
If you would like to improve this plan by providing feedback or suggestions, please fill the feedback form at this website. Thank you.